Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Type Convo. Today I will be chatting with a designer that is actually breaking the rules of typography, breaking the rules of graphic design, and he's just someone who I've been impressed by so much. He's a German designer, Cihan Tamti. He's known for his bold style, rule-breaking, groundbreaking even, and he worked with some of the biggest brands like Netflix, Nike, Calvin Klein, and some of the pop stars. One of them is Spanish singer Álvaro Soler, even some of the other world popular stars, and I'm super happy to have him here today. He's joined me from Germany for a really good chat, and I'll try to go deep in the conversation to actually see what's pushing him, what's actually making him like break the rules, what's inspiring him, and how does his process actually goes.
Hey.
Hey there. Yeah, finally seeing you over here on this side.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I think the app was a bit freezing, so
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's really a pleasure for me to have you here. I have been inspired by your style for quite some time now, and I've been following your work, and it's really something that it's not so common, and I would definitely like to chat a bit more about it. So, but for people who don't know you, tell me a bit more about yourself. How did you start graphic design? How did it all evolve to where you are right now? And just a bit more about it.
Right. Again, my name is Cihan Tamti, and I'm a graphic designer based in the unknown city Bochum in Germany. And my story is a bit funny, I would say, because the university and the city where I've started to design and try to get attention is an area which is not really known for this design and is not really famous. So we have Berlin, Hamburg, and Munich, and all these crazy cities. It's very hard to compete. And from that place, I really try to do it online and to seek attention. And with social media and community building, I was able to work international just because of the reason here's nothing to do for me. So all the agencies were like taking over, and it's very hard to find your spot as a young designer. And maybe that's the reason how I design today and how I've evolved. And from community projects, personal projects, to publications and collaborations, I was able to prove that you can work with me properly, and that's the way I was landing such big clients somehow. And not even was pitching, they just came to me via email, so I was always surprised. And yeah, now I'm here, so that's the little story.
Yeah, that's really great. I mean, a lot of designers nowadays don't really have an opportunity to work with big brands, and when something like that happens to anyone, it can be quite groundbreaking. How would you say, is there a big difference with working with regular clients and with big brands?
To be honest, working with big brands easier because you have a bigger team and everybody's like providing the files how you need it. And if you have like a regular client, which I always call a real client,
And well, the real clients,
they need
yeah.
more help, they need more service, and it's more personal many times, and I really prefer it. And the biggest challenge is always to make these brands look like the big brands, you know. That's a job. And so the difference is just in speed, I would say, in timing, and
Okay.
and of the size of the people who are involved. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. Well, I mean, I was quite impressed, you know, with the way you actually work with type because I'm type designer myself.
Yeah.
I have worked with clients before, but right now I'm focusing on typography and fonts and everything. And when I see your work, it's definitely something that stands out, you know. What were your influences? Who would you say that actually like influenced your work? Who was inspiration to actually start with it?
Oh, I mean, the list is very long, but the first guy who was bringing me into typography were these old Bauhaus designers. You know, they're all
Okay.
German, weird names, but like Jan Tichold and all these guys, and Josef Müller-Brockmann with the grid system. So I was like very strictly, and minimalism was the key for me always, like to reduce everything to one level to make it a good design with less moves. And from
Okay.
there, I found a Swiss designer called Wolfgang Weingart. I would say he's the first person before David Carson who was like breaking rules, because he was like tired of using Helvetica and Universe and started to customize everything and went crazy with the material. And this approach was like, oh wow, you can break it.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I mean that's so unique today, you know, because whenever you, for example, go on threads or even on Twitter and people ask other designers like, "What's your favorite font?" Most of them just say like Montserrat or Helvetica, and then you know, but it's so interesting to see someone who plays with typography so much, and you are also playing with materials from what I've seen on your Instagram, and that was really interesting to me. How do you do it? What inspired you to actually like make posters without Photoshop, without doing it digitally? How does it evolve? How does it impact your work?
first of all, I mean, the main goal is to get a result which is very original. And I think that's a job of a designer always. So it's key positioning for me always to have everything custom designed based on client needs. And if it's just for me for free, just doing some experimentation, I'm just trying to prove that it's working. So that's always
Okay.
the main reason. So when I do something and upload it, it's just like, okay, we can do it now. So that's the way how it
Okay.
looks. Just like a tattoo artist showing the final result on the skin, it's just the same. So I'm trying to teach with content clients that it's possible, and that's the main reason. And the inspiration just came out of nowhere. It's very hard to answer inspiration always. So I have no crazy routine, and you know, I walk around, see something outside, or another designer doing something clever, and I try to get into the thought process, and then I just realize my way, and
Okay.
that's it. It's not really complicated, but
Okay.
the main energy comes from getting an original result and to do as much as possible by myself. So that's the plan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's really great. I mean, you have said at the beginning that you didn't always like intend to break the rules,
yeah,
and it's changed when you actually saw other designers doing like groundbreaking work, like something that wasn't seen before. How do you, since you are making workshops and you've just come from France doing a workshop over there, how do you try to actually transfer that knowledge to the people that attend your workshops?
first first part in typography is usually having a very clear concept and getting into a situation with the briefing that you get extreme limitation.
Okay.
Just a very easy example. If you have to draw the letter A in glyphs, you can do whatever you want. You know, you can do it italic, you can do it in serif, in sans serif, with swirls and all that. But if I limit you just to use triangles,
Okay.
You will have like way more options and more experimental stuff instead of having all tools together. And that's how you get creative, I would say, because limitation is the biggest problem we have usually in a briefing, and that's the biggest problem to solve, I
Yeah.
would say. And if you dive deeper into psychology and the graphic design basics, like which shape has which gut feeling do you create with a round shape or with a triangle or with a rectangle, and the same with color, and you limit the briefing really down to this point,
Okay.
you have no chance to be like generic, because it's
No, that's a really amazing point, you know, like to actually break the rules, you need to limit yourself. And that's really amazing point of view.
yeah. I mean, I would say you don't put the rules on the briefing, you know.
Yeah.
The briefing is making the rules, and you have to create this bad idea to a good idea. And the reason for this attitude is just because the client knows his target group the best. You know, not
That's
you, not me. You know, we can talk so much about design, but they know what their people wants to buy or to sell it, and you
yeah,
have to figure it out
that's
this
true.
way. So I'm not one of these designers who's just saying no, it's not done like this. You have to do it like this, and then it's generic. So I think limitation out of the briefing, getting on the same page with the client or with your audience, and using this small tools you have left makes the
Yeah.
design always on point, I would say, and still amazing, because it's very hard to make a good design with limitations. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been in this field for 15 years now, and I've been working with clients for, I don't know, 7, 8 years, maybe a bit more. And sometimes they are really, really like limiting things. And then what comes out of it, it's usually quite a good work. So I understand you there completely.
Yeah, you have to use it as a tool for yourself to design. I think if you train yourself, I'm sure you will get really happy with the next results. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, I like the way of thinking and the point you're making here. Are there any rules that you actually love to break? Like, okay, I'm doing this just for the sake of breaking the rules.
Um, I think sizing, like letter sizes, I love to
Okay.
break them. Sometimes, you know, you have these overshoots if you have like O's and stuff. But
Yes.
if the typography is getting really big on the poster, I think these overshoots are disturbing. So if you use like a sans serif font, which is built for long text, it's very
Yeah.
good. But for a headline, you can maybe increase it a bit or just make it smaller. And that's my favorite part. Morphing letters together who are not used to be together is the same,
Yeah.
you know. And it's very difficult, and it's usually comes from logo design, I would say. So you have always to break these rules from
Okay.
typography, but in graphic design, it's okay, I would say. And that's my favorite part, to morph things together who don't belong together and make it work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really amazing. I mean, I've a lot of people have seen your work, and I've been impressed where you actually combine like fonts that just don't work together, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you imagine it like in your head, it will not work at all, but it's really good when you're actually able to put it out together, and then it looks really interesting and it looks really good. So that's quite an amazing point for me as a font designer. You know, I myself, there are more rules when it comes to making fonts, and especially when it comes to making text fonts, like for readability and everything. But I really love to, you know, break it sometimes, like just make sure it's not a regular serif, it's not regular sans. So that's really inspiring, and I believe a lot of people will find it inspiring when they see or hear the conversation we are having.
Hopefully.
No, I'm definitely sure about it, because for me, your work was so inspiring, and like in the reels where you were actually showing how you do it, it was like, like you said, a revelation. Look, I can do it, and it can be done. It can be done differently, and that's really what makes it work. Because if we all follow the rules, there will just be like regular basic stuff online. And so whenever you see something good, it's usually a bit out of the box, So that's amazing. I wanted to ask, the big clients you had, did they actually allow you to break the rules as you're used to it? Or it was more like, we have the brand, you need to keep it within the branding, and how did it work?
I mean, they always send guidelines, and then I can do what I want. They trust me. They just do your stuff,
Okay.
do your stuff, and from there I have to define rules for the design and bring it back to the client. Like, hey, this is how I do it for your brand. Does it work? Is it okay? And then it's quickly done. So they always give me a lot of space,
Okay.
and they also want me to do it. So when I was working with Calvin Klein, it was the same. Like, they was like, hey, please break all the rules. Don't look at the guidelines. Go crazy. And then we bring it back to the guidelines. And so we had like, I mean, it's still in the main line. So I designed a paragraph.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's really good to, I'm not sure I can hear you. Okay, now it's good.
I had a call, just
Okay, no worries.
yeah.
No worries, all good. No, I mean, it's really good when you have clients that actually believe you, like that get in touch with you, like because they believe that you'll create something good. I believe those are the best clients I ever had. So like when they actually give you freedom and you can actually work how you know best. So that's really great. Is there any particular project that actually is your favorite work? Like, do you have maybe one client or one passion project that's your favorite thing?
I really like the collaboration project called Homebound.
Okay.
Um, the first one was just like a community project. The second one was a real publication, and it was at the COVID time and at the pandemic. So we were all in a lockdown and nobody had
Yeah.
something to do. So we just make this magazine together. And my favorite part is that we had like 7 type designers, and everybody wanted to draw the headlines customs,
Okay.
and I was like, oh damn, this big competition now, what can we do? And then I decided to put these mixed font headlines together. That was the main reason, just to have everyone
Okay.
shining, and
Yeah.
and it's very strictly in the concept. If you later have time and you just go into the headlines and start to draw the lines like X heights and everything, you will see that it's like very conceptual and
Okay.
so because I mean, I have so many letters now, it's different heights, and you have to find a good balance. And I think making a new base grid for it was the perfect result. So that's my favorite part, just to find a solution to highlight everyone and getting into no competition here.
Yeah.
That's
No,
my favorite project.
that's really great. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I believe COVID and all the things that actually happened at that time pushed us even more to, like break things. And that's, it's a horrible thing that happened, but we all have to somehow find those like little things that actually helped us to grow as people and grow as artists and grow as designers. And I believe that's amazing thing, especially when you do it like with a community, with other people in that kind of time. That's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's totally important. I mean, if you don't support each other, then nobody
Yeah,
will understand what the community
yeah,
really is, or
absolutely.
what the niche is, and what our goal is to make great designs, you know. And if you step up together in a group, and you can do something bigger than just a poster, and it's really good. And I'm sure this collaboration helped many designers to get new clients and new jobs and
Okay.
new contacts to get better in their career as well. So
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, we were like 75 designers from like over
Oh
30
wow.
different countries. So of course they will connect each other too, and
Yeah, yeah,
find
that's amazing.
opportunities. And it was a very hard time, and I think it was the perfect project to help the community and to get seen and to get attention, to get new jobs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's such a great thing, you know. That's really, really good thing to do. How was it to actually publish your own book?
The first one was like, oh my God, am I really relevant enough to just make a poster book? You know, it was very tough. I did it with Kickstarter, so I needed a community back then. And this feeling was like, okay, it's a big test.
Okay.
So I'm glad it worked out. And I was getting very, very much support, and having a good publisher in the back was like, okay, you could find my book in the Tokyo airport in the Netherlands. So it was everywhere in the world, in Brazil, and nobody has seen my work there before, I'm sure. And even in
Okay.
Switzerland, it got sold out in so many shops. And I was like, okay, they respect my work. So I was able to measure myself, and I was
Yeah.
very proud. I was like, wow. I was like, the dream came true, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I believe that. No, that's great. Yeah, and the second one, are you
the
working
second,
on something? How does it go? And
yeah, I mean, the second poster book is still in process. So I'm working on it,
okay.
and hopefully I will be done next year. So
Oh,
I have like 60-70% done. I need to make some posters, and some good posters, and I'm sure we will do it again. And
yeah,
hopefully,
yeah.
hop-
Why not?
hopefully everybody who missed the first one will get the second one. So
Yeah, I missed the first one. Like I was looking around, then we got in touch, and I asked you, but it was like nowhere to be bought at that time. So yeah, I'm hoping to get the second one. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Um, do you ever feel like stuck creatively? Like that you don't know what to do, where to start?
Always.
Okay.
It's always when I get a new client, I'm like, oh, okay, what should be done now? And you know, creative blocks are not a bad thing. It usually happens if you go crazy on Pinterest and look at all these people with great designs. You know, you have to avoid these, and find your own way to communicate the project. And so, yeah, I always get stuck, like,
Always.
it should be done now, and then I just leave it and work on it the next day. So,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. That's a good, like, leave it for a bit and then come back to it with fresh view and everything. Okay. Um, do you ever feel pressure from actually your previous work? For example, about the book you are making right now, do you feel the pressure? Like, is it going to be successful as the first one? Is it going to be a better design than the first one? Or even for the client projects, do you feel that pressure?
to be honest, I'm always very confident, and
Okay.
I always want to level up. So I'm not really afraid of my past self. I would say I want to top this person, and I mean, I learn so much every day. I meet new people just like you now, and you know, we get in the conversation, and I get quickly new ideas to do new stuff. And and get better in teaching as well, and learn from the students too, because they have like a different view of design, because they like naive and very new to it, and sometimes they find gold, but they cannot make it perfect. It's great to help and to learn. So I mean, you can win this situation only with exchange, I would say. So the pressure from the last book, no, I will top it easily.
Okay, no, that's, I mean, that's great, you know, like being confident, and that's, I believe somehow it happens even to me, and I know a lot of designers who actually like get stuck with themselves and have this like syndrome that they are like just not producing work that is good enough. So it's really good that there are a lot, obviously, people who are super confident, and that's super cool. Yeah.
I mean, at the end, you don't have to take yourself so much serious, because after 2 seconds they will forget your work and scroll. So,
Well, even that's true. Yeah.
so you don't have to fall in this trap. So just do your work, do the best you can, and know when it's done, and just kick it out. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
always in your
Oh,
ability. Yeah.
that's amazing. A lot of people do try to like stay up to date with the trends and follow the trends. Do you even try to do it? Like, do you read magazines? Like, what's going to be in the next year? What kind of typography, or you are just not doing it at all? How does it work for you?
I learned from working with Calvin Klein that you have to know that the trends which are happening now are 2 years old. So, so you don't have to stay in the now. You have to be in the future already. So you have to predict what is coming next in the 2 years. So I don't care about the trends already, and try to make my own plan. Like, okay, what should be changed now? Now we see a lot of AI designs, and it's clear that we have to find a contrast next to it. Like, how can we humanize design more, making it unperfect? For example, I had one project for a festival where the typography turned out like a SpongeBob font,
Okay.
but somehow everybody liked it, and even bigger brands were like, "Oh wow,
Yeah,
done," but it's strong in the communication. So I was like, okay, maybe that's the next thing, and just with the right feedback, you can predict what is next. And right now, all these trends are just repeating. So you have a lot of lazy content creators predicting like the new trends, but they just copy work from a few famous designers. So never look at trends. Look what is happening in your niche, really, I would say, and what people need. And the first guy, you can
yeah.
set the
Okay.
trend. So
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that, definitely.
just leave them. They're 2 years old.
Yeah,
Don't look
and
at trends.
do your work and do what you can the best, and
Yeah,
yeah, I love it. I love it. But are there any designers that you are actually looking up to?
many. Oh, there's so many. I mean,
Okay.
I would say over 100 of them, because
Well,
I think it's the main part of a designer to see who's the best, who's doing the work good, and to understand what should I deliver, right? And
okay.
if you look at the biggest names, you quickly see how they present their work. Even if the project itself is good, the presentation of it must be also very good. How they talk, how they get featured somewhere. So I'm always like tracking down these people, like what's the behavior of it like. And for example, many great designers from, especially the older ones, they started with personal projects. Let's talk about Stefan Sackmeister, for example. He just went to Bali and made a film. It was a
Yes.
personal project, and it was one of his biggest exhibitions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now nobody wants to miss his exhibition. So it was a personal project. He went on stage. He had his lectures, and all that, type. He made a publication out of it, and then he was like back in the business, getting
Yeah,
clients,
yeah.
and then back
Oh, that's
to it. So that's a rotation I'm seeking for too. So I don't want to have like a 1 year break, but I want to have like my own stuff to level up as a designer, to have a story to tell, maybe to improve the whole community somehow and help them to find something else, and then use
okay.
it for the next project so we can level up. That's a game.
That's the game. Yeah,
So
that's
like,
true.
so that's the reason I can't name so many designers now. If I missed one, they would be mad, I would say so.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
All of them
yeah,
are
that's
great.
true.
So many good designers you can't miss. So
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, for someone who's actually breaking the rules, already have a feeling about your answer in this question, but how did you respond to the criticism about actually breaking the rules? I'm sure there was a lot of, people online especially can be, I don't know, willing to say everything and anything just to make their own point or whatever. But how do you respond to criticism about your own work?
I mean, I don't care really,
Yeah, I
but
thought so.
but
I
if it's
thought so.
but if it's someone who knows me and who knows how I work and is maybe older and or better in design than me, then I listen really like, okay, what should be better and how can I improve it? And they have to prove me that I'm wrong. So I'm always in this position because me and my client, we agreed on it. So decisions were made. So if someone just looks at the visuals and is trying to critique my work, I don't listen to him. They don't know the concept and the story, and they don't know the brand, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's okay if they talk their shit. I don't care. But I mean, if I work now for Nike and people are hating it, and everybody knows Nike, then I miss maybe. Then I'm like, okay, I have to see now what should be done next time. But if I look at the big brand work, I had never problems. So for small
Oh,
projects, not at all. I mean, never happened that I was getting a lot of hate, I would say. Maybe in
okay.
maybe in the beginning and in the first years when I was in social media, one professor wrote like, "Who needs this? Like that's
Oh,
crap."
wow.
And 1 year later, I was on stage and giving a lecture in front of him. So I was like,
Oh, well, he obviously does now. Yeah.
yeah. But he was really sorry about it, and now we are good friends, I would say.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's always like if you get really into the conversation, you can quickly change that mood. So if someone is writing bad stuff and has the time for it, I mean, I'm not online and just say, oh no, I don't like it. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
never write it. I would never write it down and hurt someone's feelings just with a small opinion, right? So these people must be a bit crazy. I don't know, but
Well, who knows? Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't care. I don't care.
that's true. That's amazing point of view because every one of us is doing like what they feel it's good about the creative work, and especially if you have a client and if the client is satisfied, then that's it.
Yeah.
There's no talking about it any further. So yeah, that's really good. Um, I'm super inspired, by all of this, and there will be a lot of quotes to pull out of this. So yeah, but for the end, if there's like one advice you could give to designers that are maybe just starting out, or even like designers that have been working for years, just one thing from all of your knowledge, from everything, what would you say to them?
Um, the best advice I can give is just do the job right. So that's the main part because you get so many times distracted by opinions and by trends and just do the work right. So deliver solve the problem, or make the brand better and bigger if you can. And don't focus on everybody's opinion. Make yourself and your client happy and the person's happy who needs your design, and just blend everything out. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that's great, really. I mean, there have been a lot of comments like saying pretty much the same as I did. There will be a lot of quotes, a lot of good things to pull out from this, and I really had a pleasure talking with you. We'll definitely repeat this when you're closer to launching your book, the second one. I would love it. Like to talk a bit more about that part. And thank you for finding the time for me. I know you have been busy. You just came from France. You're probably going somewhere else now and doing your work. But thank you for finding the time. And I had so much fun. And yeah, thank you. And thank you for everyone tuning in for today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me and for the trust. And of course, we can do it again. Looking forward.
Yeah, sounds amazing to me. Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Have a good day and chat soon. Bye bye.